thought you had that all day long. So slippery, slide down, 4 wheels locked up.
It's time to visit another one of our Onyx off-road build competitors, and today we are headed to Ephraim, Utah and Layton Auto Body, the home of the Robbie Layton Nation YouTube channel. Robbie Layton Nation is not a vehicle build specific YouTube channel or even an off-road recovery YouTube channel. Robbie describes his channel as strictly automotive entertainment. Robbie definitely entertained the crowd in Sand Hollow at our stock vehicle competition, showing up with a D100 bread van, probably the most unique vehicle to be seen in Sand Hollow that day.
This is a 1969 Dodge P200 delivery van. This thing delivered your grandma's mail, it delivered her sourdough bread, it brought groceries to the family, and now it's gonna take us on a trail and we're gonna be able to stay in an Airbnb while we're out exploring with you guys.
No, it did not do well in the rock crawling competition because even though it does have a truck frame underneath, it is two-wheel drive with almost no ground clearance. But where Robbie shined was in the tug of war, earning him the win and one free part from an Onyx Elite part. When we first arrived at Layton Auto Body, it was pretty obvious that Robbie's channel is truly about automotive entertainment. When he was in the parking lot with his twin turbo-powered AMC Pacer doing a gender reveal for one of his friends. Once the pink tires were completely burned to the ground, Robbie took me inside to catch me up on the progress he's made with his vehicle.
All right, so this started out as a 1969 Dodge delivery van.
So this is still the delivery van frame?
Yes, and what it is back in '69 they took truck frames and they upfitted them into vans.
Into the van. Okay.
And so they put this extension because it's a flat floor. So what we've basically done is taken that entire center section, we're gonna flat belly it. We've got the 5.3 with all the drivetrain out of a 2011 Tahoe, and we're gonna make this thing super reliable to where we can camp in it and go overlanding. So from the beginning, we knew that we wanted to stick to the overlanding aspect of this challenge because it's a bread van. So obviously you got room for beds, you got room for supplies, you know, might even have room for a four-wheeler. We don't know yet. 4-link rear, 4-link front, all Barnes four-wheel drive stuff. And we're gonna use the cooling. Like we've got the, that's why we're cutting this. We're gonna use the factory cooling. We're gonna use the factory fans, just use everything we can from the donor because we have the whole thing.
That's a big savings right there. The smartest thing about doing it that way is the fact that if you can wedge that stock radiator in there,
it'll cool it correctly.
And you're also gonna save money on the stupid junk. Radiator hoses and AC lines and all that stuff. Yeah, because that's what kills you.
We've arched it to the 115-inch wheelbase. We moved the front forward like 4 inches and the back, I wanna say 10 inches. We're gonna box that all in like we did the front. The front is all smooth. That way, if we do belly or if we do bottom the tire out,
doesn't cut it. Yeah.
Even, it doesn't even have to be perfectly straight for what it is, but I think it probably needs a nice paint job.
Yeah.
So we'll probably have $2,500.
Well, it is Robbie Layton Auto Body.
I know. I know. So today we're working on the upper and lower links on the suspension. So we're putting the 1-ton axles in the stock frame. We've got it all boxed. We've got our drivetrain set in, our cross members built. Now we have to do double triangulated 4-link. Now the bread van's gonna have a 115-inch wheelbase, so it's gonna be super capable. It's gonna be basically gonna be a Jeep, just on 42-inch tires and 12 feet tall. Now that we have our cardboard templates, we're gonna actually take it from our CAD drawing here and put it into our CAD system here. We'll burn them out, make sure they work, and then I'll cut out the other side. you're gonna see that me and Sean are working together today. Now, Sean is super, super talented at everything that I'm not talented at. But what Sean mainly does is all the interior fabrication. I mean, the guy is unreal with aluminum work. This guy has built 44 SEMA cars, so having him here, just the learning that we've experienced is unreal.
The most impressive part of Robbie's build is all of the aluminum work that's being done inside and outside of the van. The van did not have a door when it showed up to our stock vehicle competition, and the custom door that his team has built is absolutely amazing.
But check this out. So when we bought the van, it didn't have a back door. So we've fully custom built this. This is all out of billet.
This is gonna be the most comfortable overlanding vehicle of the whole trip, I think.
Well, we're trying to go for that. What we've done inside is we were gonna do bunk beds. That's not a really good use for space. And you gotta crawl above somebody. So what we're doing is fold down beds on each side. And then above it, we got cabinets that we've custom built. They're gonna have doors so that when you're going around, nothing's gonna fall out.
Yeah.
Check out, this is the doors. They're double panel, plugged, so they're inner, outer.
And would you panel bond them?
No, welded them. All the way around them,
Oh
smoothed
my
them.
God.
And then plug welded them everywhere.
That is so much work.
Yeah.
But it looks so good.
Well, that's just it, it's the details. So
Holy-
you could have just had that flat.
Or you could have just had one panel.
Yes, and just had it kind of flimsy.
Yeah. But
Now, I'm not taking credit for this. Sean is the master at aluminum.
that's insane that it's like, I never would have thought to do that. That's so smart.
That'll be, when it's here, that'll be way below this. That'll never, it'll never ever come this high. All right, so we have the first lower link all in place right where we want it. Perfect. Now what we'll do is we'll mirror match that to the other side, work on our uppers, and this rear suspension double triangulated 4-link will be installed.
The stock axles that are in the frame front and rear will obviously need to be rebuilt, and Robbie has a pile of parts from one of the Onyx Off-Road Elite partners, Yukon Gear and Axle. The plan will be lockers front and rear, and new ring and pinions, install kits, and heavy-duty diff covers.
In the competition, I think we're gonna stand out because it's gonna be the weirdest, but the coolest build out of the entire challenge. And it's gonna be an overlander. This is basically an Airbnb on wheels. I think we're gonna come in towards the top. And you know what, to be honest, if we don't win, who cares? We've already won being a part of the challenge. We got a huge budget to build ourselves a super awesome rig that after we're done with SEMA, we're gonna be able to take it to shows and use it to sell merch out of. So it's just a win-win for us.
And just like all of our visits, we're getting to spend a little bit of time in the dirt. So we asked Robbie what his favorite trail was nearby. So we headed just down the road from Robbie's shop to the Hanging Tree Trail. The Hanging Tree Trail does not have a trail card on the Onyx Off-Road app, but we were able to track it using the Go and Track feature so we could share it with you. Trust me, this trail is worth the trip.
So we are in beautiful Sanpete County in Axe Handle Canyon at the start of Hanging Tree Trail. So we say that this is the hardest trail in Utah. Is it the hardest trail? Maybe not. But for Sanpete County, it's definitely the best trail here. We've got my buddy Owen with us. He's in a Blazer. He's fully locked on 42-inch stickies. He's gonna be taking up the front. We've got Paul Cox from Fab Rats. He's in his FJ45, and that thing is just super capable. All right, so it's super cool to have Ian Johnson sitting in my Jeep with me today. He has wheeled every single trail in the country, literally every trail, except Hanging Tree. So I'm super excited to take him up this trail today and let him experience what we have to offer in our area. My name's Robbie Layton, and I like Jeeps.
So what is this thing? This is
This is a 98 Jeep Cherokee Banana Replica.
So is this the one that you said Matt built?
Yeah, Matt built it on his channel and gifted it to me. So I paid for the Jeep, took it to him, Dynatrack gave him axles, and he put it all together. And then we're gonna paint it.
What color?
Blue.
Oh!
Would have never guessed. I was born and raised in Manti, Utah, which is 7 miles from where we live. This is Ephraim, Utah. I've been here my entire life. So I actually didn't get into rock crawling or wheeling until about 2 years ago, which I've always wanted to do it. I've never had the time. I've never never had a vehicle until we started doing YouTube. So I'd never went up Hanging Tree. I mean, that thing is awesome. The mountains, we have West Mountains, we have East Mountains. There's so many trails. There's a thing called the Arapeen Trail System, and you can just go for miles everywhere on the skyline. So just trail riding and driving around here is super cool. But being able to rock crawl in our backyard is awesome.
All right, we're here at the first waterfall. We're gonna go on the optional line on this one and try it. Although Robbie's making this, the easier line, look really tough right now. So we'll see how this works.
What's your favorite part about this bread van you're building?
I think the coolest part about the bread van is that it's gonna be something that we can jump in, it's gonna be reliable, we can drive it down the highway, we can go camp in it, and we can climb over rocks with it. So, I mean, it's just gonna be a capable vehicle.
Are you worried at all about the size of the body? Like on the trail, as we watch this rock take your mirror off.
As we bump across this, not really. I think nobody has ever said that's too big, Ian. So, just kidding. I think it's gonna be a learning curve. So the center of gravity is gonna be low enough that I don't think it's gonna like roll.
Yeah.
But it's gonna feel really, really weird to where you're gonna feel like you're gonna flop, I think. The trail was awesome today. I've been on it 5 or 6 times, so I kind of knew what to expect, but I was excited to see what Paul had to think about it and what Ian thought. I mean, overall, it was super fun. There was a lot of little obstacles. The water running down it the entire time really makes the difficulty go up.
So since your YouTube channel is built around the lifestyle of Robbie Layton Nation, what is your favorite thing that you've gotten to do since starting YouTube now?
Honestly, I can tell you, a week ago I was out in Connecticut racing in Cletus McFarland's New England 900. I did the Van Prix where we jump vans. I did the New England 900 and I sucked at it, but
That's the Crown Vic race.
the Crown Vics, I made it 65 laps out of 90
Okay.
before popping my 2 rear tires. But 2 years ago, I was sitting in Bristol, Tennessee at the Bristol Motor Speedway, and my goal was to eventually be on the track, not in the stands. And less than 2 years later, I made that happen.
That's awesome. And how old is your channel?
2.5 years.
That's it? Wow.
We'll be 3 years in December.
That is awesome.
And it's just cool.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I watched your TV as a kid, your TV show. Now we're driving up Hanging Tree with you next to us. I mean,
Yep.
people don't realize that we're living our dreams. What I was dreaming of 10 years ago, I'm living today. So the cool thing about onX Off-Road is a trail like this that was built by a Jeeping club, it doesn't have a trail card. And so what I did last year is I actually ran the trail, I marked everything out with waypoints, I put it into my files in my onX Off-Road, I put pictures and everything that you need to know about this trail. So the nice thing about this Jeep is it's pretty small, so I can get into some narrower spots. The width is pretty narrow. I like the fact that it's versatile. I like that it can still do hard stuff. I do have to use my rock sliders a lot more because I don't have tons of height, but overall this Jeep is just a super capable vehicle and it does what I need it to do. So this is the second to last waterfall. We have one more that's even bigger, but this thing is dang near vertical and it's got a lot of water, so it's gonna be fun. I kind of knew what to expect where I've ran this trail quite a few times, and I knew the last obstacle, it's the big waterfall. I knew I was going to struggle. I was hoping I could make it out of it. I thought maybe, there's a little bit less water than there was a month ago. Maybe it's dry, maybe I can hit it a different way. Ultimately, I couldn't make it out. I had to winch. But that's no big deal. That might be that I have 37-inch tires, I don't have stickies, I don't have the width. There's a few things, but you know what? Who cares? We pulled some winch line, we got out of it, we were safe, and that's all that matters. So I'm looking forward to getting the bread van finished for the onX Off-Road Build Challenge, and we kind of talked, and I think that it's gonna have to come up hanging tree. Maybe before it's painted, that way if we mess it up. We've got some height restrictions, but I think it'd be super awesome if we could take that bread van and successfully make it out of the top waterfall. So that's a short-term goal for us to get that thing done and get it up here.
After spending the day with Robbie in his shop, I'm pretty happy with where he's at with this project. I would consider him about 30% of his way through. He has a full rolling chassis with the engine, transmission, transfer case locked into place, and the axles are in the position that they're going to stay at, and he's working on the custom suspension. He still has a few key items to deal with, and that is steering, as well as some type of shock and spring package he's going to put onto that chassis, but I think he saved himself a pile of time and money by just reusing the frame that was underneath the step van and making it stronger and converting it over to four-wheel drive. The van body has undergone the biggest transformation with all the custom aluminum work both inside and out. I think Robbie's found a little bit of a loophole here. The aluminum doesn't cost a lot of money, but there's a lot of labor that goes into building all those custom pieces that he's putting into the van. You don't have to pay for the labor, so essentially he's getting all that custom stuff for free, just has to pay for the raw material. And the time to build it doesn't go against his budget. And the quality of work inside and outside of that van, it is definitely SEMA show quality. This thing looks amazing in person. I have seen many step vans built for the SEMA show, but usually they're all slammed down on the ground, built as hot rod delivery vans. I've never seen one jacked up sitting on 40-inch tall tires, but the hot rod quality metalwork that's going into this thing with the combination of the four-wheel drive chassis, it's definitely going to turn a lot of heads in Las Vegas when this thing pulls into the show. And that's hard to do at the SEMA show, and so I think Robbie should be pretty proud of that fact. My only concern with this vehicle is body damage. The van body itself, it's just huge. Add to the fact that these step vans are kind of pop riveted together from the factory, so I don't know what's going to happen to it when you get all that twisting motion when we're out on the trail. So I hope that we're able to basically get him through the trails without causing any additional damage to that vehicle before it shows up to the SEMA show. That would be the only thing I'd be worried about, is like you said, is when you get like this thing, this body's never going to have seen this kind of like torsional load. It's like a beer can, right? And when you get it on the trail, it's going to want to do this. So you might want to think about doing something just to stop that.
Yes.
The good news is after the show, Robbie is a body guy. He's going to be able to fix it easily. So where is he at budget-wise? He's actually in a really good spot considering how far along they are. He has the van that he bought for $500, $850 for axles, $1,100 for tires, $750 for all the aluminum, $1,100 for wheels, gears $1,400, lockers $2,200, engine transmission $500, steel $500, and then that Barnes kit, he was able to take it out of the budget because he won that by winning the tug of war competition in our stock vehicle challenge. Means his total cost so far is $8,900. That's less than half of what he's able to spend in this competition. And with only steering and shocks and springs being the big ticket items, he's in a really good spot. I'm excited to see this thing show up to our trip this fall. I think it's definitely gonna turn a lot of heads, and it's definitely gonna be a different vehicle out on the trail.